welcome to our first ever Nerd Social. So we've got our guest judges here to basically talk about some stuff, experts in their own right. And today we're going to talk about how to be a modern day Santa Claus. The primary thing we have to talk about here is not just about being Santa Claus, because no one can really be Santa Claus, a mythical creature, so to say, unless you're a kid and he's real. But what if you wanted to be Santa Claus-like, basically to the actions that Santa Claus does, to maybe help out the jolly old Saint Nick? So hypothetically speaking, we're going to be discussing today two general methods in which someone can be Santa Claus. One being the traditional way, having to follow all the rules and the ways that Santa Claus does what he does. The other being him being able to use modern day devices, technology, and methods at which to deliver the gifts. We're just going to go through who our experts are today.
I'm Zack Garber. I work with technology. I am basically a glorified IT technician.
I'm Lindsay. I will be discussing brand. I'm a graphic designer.
I'm Steven. I am a wardrobe and costume designer.
I'm Karami. I'm a pop culture expert.
And I am your host, as always, Eric Sooth. We're going to start this off a little bit easy. We're going to basically talk about the major thing. So one thing everyone knows is Santa Claus exists. So to be able to do your job, you have to be known by the kids. So how would someone using traditional methods be able to get their name out there to let people know, hey, by the way, I'm Santa Claus?
Well, I guess I'm going to start off pretty dark, and I would say fear is one way to really get people to notice you. Do the burning bush thing, do things that will make a story travel across that people would want to talk about, and then place fear in people, I would say.
Well, word of mouth is really easy. So that's like a good way to kind of get people around. You tell someone, hey, now if you notice, when you're ever creating up a website and you want to get like attention towards your website, the best thing you can do is run like contests. I'm going to give you something for free if you guys do this one thing of following me.
Incentive, I guess.
So, yeah. I mean, going and saying, hey, I'm going to give it a bunch of free gifts if you follow me, that's a good way to get people to know that you exist as Santa Claus.
But, I mean, using traditional methods.
Yeah. Well, I think still giving things away for free. You spread that by word of mouth. Eventually, that's going to go across.
How long are we giving this Santa Claus to get his name out?
Let's say you have like a full year. You have December 26th to December 24th to let people know and get your shit in order.
I mean, you could just go traveling around to different places, like doing presentations and doing little shows, and everybody's saying, like, "Look, here I am."
Yeah, a little coast to coast tour.
So coast to coast, just going from place to place. What do you think?
I think just being Santa Claus and just traveling and being relevant would be good. I think Santa Claus would have to keep up with the news and see like what spots to hit up to like be relative, and then just do it throughout the year because it's different. No one's ever done that, so people will pay attention. So
here, that's actually great. Local medias, no one says you can't go on local news and still be traditional as long as you're not the one doing it. Just to give you a little bit of an information about that. I did find out that there's someone who traveled and visited every single state in the United States and kept track of how much it cost them to literally just drive from state to state. It cost them $19,000.
But would it cost Santa anything if he says you will be getting gifts if you float my price or give me a place to stay?
So your idea is Santa Claus forces them to pay.
Yeah.
All right. Just to give a little context, when I'm thinking of modern day Santa Claus, I'm thinking someone like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, someone rich who basically wants to give back. I mean, they already give tons of money to charity. So why not use this as like kind of a charity shelter, right? And kind of thing. So just so you have an idea, Bill Gates is actually worth $96 billion. Ooh, that's like his estimated worth is. Bezos, $137 billion. So just keep that in mind as we talk about things. So hypothetically speaking, worst case scenario, if you want to do the whole state-by-state visit, $19,000 right there.
So that's nothing.
That's nothing. That's nothing to them. But the next thing would be toys. Right, you're going to give out toys. You've got a year to build them, which isn't too impossible. Like if you've got like a manufacturing team, but traditionally you have to be the one that builds it, or your staff has to be the one that builds it.
So here's the thing: the traditional Santa Claus is magic.
Yes.
So trying to ground him in reality is kind of handicapping him a little bit.
No. Well, here's the thing, though. whether you believe or not, Santa Claus himself and his action of delivering is magic. Is magic.
Plus,
He has elves
Yeah.
that do manual labor, so that's a thing you can quantify in modern.
With tiny hands.
Yes, tiny hands.
But the thing is,
Children workforce.
does he have to worry about unionized labor?
Yes.
Okay, so he still has to make these factories like to code and all that.
If you think the elves aren't unionized, you're wrong. They get their cookie breaks, their hot cocoa breaks. They are unionized.
All right.
You were gonna say something, Lucky?
Oh, I was referring to the whole thing with the magic about making magic modern. Magic is just technology you don't understand. How many people actually understand detailed technology?
In your face.
Yeah, a lot of grandparents are like, wow, what's a hashtag? That's magic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, just to break into it real quick, just so you know, now here's the thing we have to talk about. Are we catering to all of the people in the United States or just the children? Because that number changes drastically. We're talking about 325 million adults and children combined. But if we're talking about just children,
Only children.
it's 74 million.
I'm only children on this.
Only children?
I feel like priorities are different for children and for adults. Hopefully, adults will find joy in having children have
Gotcha.
joy. So maybe
children.
just
Yes,
stick to
just
children.
children.
So
Yeah.
just to give you an idea, when it comes to manufacturing, the rule of thumb is if it costs you something to make something, you should charge a certain amount. One of the general rules of thumb is a 50% markup.
Mhm.
So hypothetically, if you were going to make a gift that was $20 for every kid in the United States,
Mhm.
you're looking at least $10 per item.
Mhm.
So that would probably be about $742 million to build a toy for every kid.
But
Okay.
that's if you're making new toys. A lot of joy comes from giving something that might mean something to you to someone else. Like, I hate to say re-gifting, but sometimes joy comes from something that's special from you
Fair
to another
enough.
person.
But where is hypothetical modern day Santa Claus getting 74 million toys to regift?
Well, I mean, he can spread his word of love and joy and have the parents who have a different priority than the kids kind of
Gotcha.
say, hey, you know what, your grandfather was in a war or something and this watch was his. This is a gift that you can't have a price to.
Not a bad point.
So-
So he's outsourcing his gifting.
Well,
Yeah, you could.
one other
That's-
thing though, if we were doing traditional methods, to be able to send something through its regular manner, he would need to have a place to ship it out there. The recent Amazon fulfillment center, their biggest one, cost them $200 million to make. Just to factor that in for cost, just generally speaking. So communicating with kids, we talked about going from every state to state to basically spread word about what you're doing. You could use that in theory to be able to find out what they want too.
Mhm.
Why double cost that, right? Why go from town to town and be all like, hey, I'm Santa Claus, by the way, I'm giving out free gifts, and then 3 months later do it again.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we've already basically said that's the best idea, town to town and spread word about what you're doing, go on local news, then why not also meet the kids just like you or mall Santa, find out what they want, receive letters, envelopes.
You should tell the kids what they want, because sometimes kids will be moldable like that, and you'll say
you want
oh,
this.
yeah, I mean, if you can make a pencil sound amazing to a kid if you say it the right way.
And plus, also, it is going to be a Monday millionaire who's actually creating all this. They could actually create a new thing
Yeah.
that just spend the whole year building up. They've been wanting this thing, and then look, this is the gift you're getting this year.
So he makes the toy in advance that you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he uses
Yeah.
Amazon to figure out if it's Jeff Bezos. It's like, well, I've done the research, and everyone wants this.
Well, if you think about Hatchimals and how amazing that became as a fad and was selling out, is because they put out limited quantities, and it was
Sure.
actually a stupid motor that they took from a more expensive toy, put it in this tiny thing, and what they did was they found a YouTube star or something like that. They put all these toys in a piñata, and that video went viral.
Well, you
and
can't
then
do that
people,
with this one, though.
no, I know. I'm just saying, if you created this toy, nobody knew it existed. You have someone famous say something about it, king of whatever, or you just pinpoint
Or
these
just Jeff Bezos.
these key famous people in certain areas. Word will spread, and they'll be like, that famous person who I like for whatever stupid reason has this new toy. I don't even know what it is, but I want it now.
That's not a bad idea.
I'm just wondering, what kind of low-tech traditional marketing method could you do to send a worldwide message about a toy and make it so desirable?
You can't.
I don't know.
Word of mouth would be bad.
I don't know if traditional Santa can do that.
So the last thing to talk about on this one before we go to the next segment is delivering. So let's be honest, you cannot deliver in one day by yourself, traditional methods, all these toys. But you could travel across the U.S. and do them in that way over time. So hypothetically speaking, if you do like a group giving where people show up to receive it, I mean, you're spending another $19,000 to travel across the U.S., but you're getting the job done, right? You're basically doing all that.
Are we really giving toys to everyone, or just the good ones?
Just the kids.
Just the good kids.
Well,
or just the good and the bad kids.
I think, hypothetically speaking, if you're Santa Claus, you kind of have to give it to all the kids.
Oh, you have to.
I think you kind of have to.
I'm just curious.
I think you should give it to only the kids that believe.
He's not fictional, so that's easy because they can see it.
Yeah.
Yes, but many people will see something that's true and still not believe it's true.
Plenty of people.
Like if someone already said Santa Claus isn't real, and then they see Santa Claus, they're like, he's a phony.
That beard looks so fake.
He doesn't give you the toy unless you say, I believe in you.
Yeah.
Blow on the beard.
And then you
That's
all
so
jump off
messed
the
up.
bridge together.
So the next major facet of the whole thing is about, now let's take off the little binders. Let's make it a little bit easier of a task. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, the world is their oyster. It's modern technology. How are they going to still hit those same notes? It's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot more costly, though, right?
Billboard campaigns,
Mhm.
viral videos.
Letting people know you exist. Billboard, definitely. But I'll give you a little bit of information about things that's already been done. For instance, when Coca-Cola wanted to rebrand themselves, it wasn't even like a major rebrand, it was just a rebrand. It cost them $1.2 billion to do it. When Pepsi redid their logo, that cost them $1 million. So 1.2 billion versus 1 million. Pepsi got the better deal, in my opinion.
Well, they also have the worst logo.
So, yeah.
So even make a worse logo gets recognition
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
people are like, oh my god, this major company made a horrible logo.
So if you wanted to spread your name around the entirety of the U.S., I mean, we're literally talking about probably $1 million. $1 million at minimum to get word across for multiple times, TV spots. That would get the job done, right?
Yeah.
One Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
That's more than $1 million,
Well, we're talking about kids. I don't know if kids are watching the Super Bowl.
because we limited it to kids.
Put it on video games.
Yeah, just contact one of the AAA game developers. Make it like the next game coming out.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's still more than $1 million though.
Yeah, but it'll do it.
Just like a little ad piece in the game, like literally your Santa Claus character that you are comes into it. It's like, I'm giving gifts away.
Yeah.
Put him in Fallout 76.
Oh, make an ad in Fortnite, and every kid will see
Oh
it.
god.
Well,
nice.
if Santa or whoever has a connection with these game companies, or if they buy the game company that these people, would it be cheaper to buy a game company and that's popular, or would it be?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, and then
It
you
might be.
own it, and then you can plug in all you want.
And
That's
that's the toy you deliver. DLC.
Yeah.
To all the
Yeah,
people.
So I think we pretty much got it down. We're thinking probably about $1 million easy, right? At
Right.
least minimum $1 million, right?
At least.
But there's a way to do it.
But
It's
certainly
easy.
not bank breaking.
Yeah, definitely not. Now, this is where it's easier when it comes to the toys. So you don't have to build them. You can purchase them.
Alright.
But the thing about it is that when you're buying a gift, even at the lowest price, $20 per person, like we're not doing the 10, just $20, and you edge that down for like mass purchasing because you get the discounting, we're still looking at about $1.4 billion spent on toys
Per year.
for kids, just the kids per year. That's still like nothing for Jeff Bezos. That's minimal. But imagine just the tax write-off for that. There's a maximum you can get tax write-off,
Yeah.
by the way. That is over it. But I mean, so that seems reasonable, right? Like, what else would you do though? Would you buy them in bulk? Would you make them yourself? Because we can go to the manufacturing cost route again.
Mhm.
I guess that kind of depends on, do you accept requests for any toy, or do you have like a selectable list which you choose your toy from?
I mean, you could have basically like a group setting where like, oh, I make 6 different gifts people can get, and you can select it. And that'll actually go into our next segment, which I want to talk about. It's pretty brilliant when you think about how do you communicate.
Ah.
And this is where you're going to come in and you're going to shine. No, yeah, trust me. No, 100%. But generally speaking, I mean, it's like you could have like 4 different ones or 5 different ones that you make. Or if you own Amazon, you could just be all like, I'm buying this toy, this toy, this toy, this toy on Amazon.
Mhm.
I mean, they're already in your fulfillment centers.
I mean, I think it would be really fun to like have like 4 to 6 toys that are set that like every kid like really wants. And then I know it's kind of sounds lame, but like just randomly be like, hey, I'm giving out all these free toys. They're free, right? And then you'll just get a random one. And then if you get the one you want, great. If not, I mean, kids have a bunch of friends. They can like trade and have fun with that. So I think that'd be pretty cool.
Like Pokemon cards.
Like Pokemon cards, yeah.
So is this going to be something like, oh God, what's that service that sends you a gift bag of
loot box?
Yeah, like a loot crate.
Yeah, loot crate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Santa crate.
Yeah, you can resell the ones you don't want on eBay and make money. So,
So
The gift that keeps on giving.
yeah, exactly.
that just kind of lead us into the next one, though, communicating with the kids, right, about what they want. Now, I did a little bit of research here to give you a little bit of numbers, so you guys can think about what you think is the best option for this. So you could build an app. Now, an app on your phone that you can download. It's like they get to like choose the item they want. Very easy. Almost everyone's got a phone. Their parents got a phone. They can basically set it up for their kids through there. General apps can cost anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 if a company professionally build it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that bad a price point. But if you wanted to build a website, that's really easy. It's just a website that you can go to, like www.newsanta.com.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that if someone doesn't buy that, they're a fool. But they go to that site. You're looking at least a minimum of $500 to, and now this is like for like a high end, like you're all bells and whistles, $15,000. Does that seem about right, Zach?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
What would you think it would cost to make a site that allows people to choose what they want and get the information and manage it back to Santa Claus?
Do you want it to look good?
I mean, there's a lot of sites now like Squarespace and stuff that are very easy drag and drop, but it doesn't mean everyone has the knowledge to know how to get a domain and blah, blah, blah and all of that. So your averages are fine. Yeah.
But here's the thing, hypothetically speaking, you have to manage all that data. Mm-hmm. So people that build websites, they might like, oh, websites are easy. Building an input form that goes through and then manages all that information and collates it, that's a level beyond web building.
Well, you can have it connect to Google Drive, which can create Google Excel sheets to manage that data input. Mm-hmm. So you can have a form that people that people fill out, and it can transfer that data to like a Excel sheet that Santa already has a connection to, so you don't have to send anything.
It'll like automatically kind of fill it all out.
So he just has to log into your shared drive, and he can on the spot see the new information.
Even creepier than he knows when you're sleeping.
He knows when you're typing.
Right into he slides into your GDs.
Your Google Drives.
But I mean, like, do you think that it would be better to go for an app or for a website? What do you think?
I think a website would be actually more accessible to more people, because there are, sounds weird, but there are a few people who actually don't use smartphones, or they don't like the adult data thing, and some people like that's just kind of a tiny thing to work with, so it's just easier on the computer. Everyone could have access to it. Just like you have parents who don't want their kids playing on phones so young, so thing on the computer.
So the last part would be then delivering the toys. Right, we have to get the toys from point A to point B, right? So, toys across the U.S., if you wanted to ship them through USPS, you're looking at about $4 a package if you're doing the bulk rate. Like, talk about like all of these things being shipped out, like for everyone. You might get lower than $4 if you deal with it, but pretty much you're looking at maybe around $296 million. It's a lot of money for having to ship. Now, to give you an idea, Amazon doesn't do that anymore on most of their shippings. They actually sub out all their work to their own guys. They have like these third-party companies that do it. They basically ship them through USPS to one location. They get picked up and delivered by people. With that method, you could probably get it down to be about $2 a package if you do it yourself. And then like talked about with you mentioned, I think earlier before you even started filming, that you can package things and send them out before the date.
Yeah. A lot of the mail services company have set up to where you can pre-put on there, like you can ship it out early and have a date when it actually delivers, which is common with video games and different like things that have specific street dates. So you could actually do everything ahead of time, and then it all goes out on the exact same date, everybody at once.
That's pretty smart on that one, because that really kind of solves it, right? Because how do you be in one place all over the U.S.? Traditional Santa can't do that.
No,
there's no way you can do that. But Bill Gates Santa, technology Santa.
I'd also like to just put out the idea of if there were spot locations, like how we have a certain amount of courthouses that everyone can get to. What if these courthouses were 3D printing areas where you get a ticket, you go on that date, you pick up your package, you open it on Christmas, but you can go when your ticket is ready. But if you open it beforehand, it will melt. So you do have to wait because it is plastic, 3D printed.
That. I love that. So like it'll melt in your hands. You're a bad kid.
Yeah. So
like that's their fortunate role.
Yeah. So I'm just like bringing up the idea. Then there's not really shipping. You go to these locations, and you can even 3D print out a 3D printer possibly. I don't know. It's like
just to deal with that, you can 3D print parts to a 3D printer.
Yeah, and then you have your workers.
You have like boards and like hot ends and stuff like that. Yeah. Those pieces have to actually be bought separately. Yeah. But you can print out the most of a 3D printer.
Yeah, so you do that one time, and then for the rest of however, you get postage stamp is whatever, or you get an email notification saying your Christmas gift is ready. You have a week to pick it up, or it will melt. So
it melts if you don't get it, or it melts if you do get it too early?
You gotta make people earn it.
That's
like
crazy.
If you really care.
Being a good kid is hard.
Yeah, you can't just get gifts and not have like parameters.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I think that pretty much about wraps up both the modern day and the prior day Santa Claus, right?
Wow.
To give you a little breakdown so you guys can think about which one is the better, I'll tell you how much it'll likely cost you. To be a modern day Santa Claus, you're looking at $2.7 billion. To be an old school Santa Claus, just kids, by the way, that's what we're saying, $942 million. So it is cheaper to be low tech, but you get the job done. It's a lot easier with the high tech.
Yeah, but are any of these guys generating anymore? Like, how long is that feasible?
It's not about making money. It's about bringing joy to children.
It's about charity, and imagine how much press that would be for Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If Jeff Bezos did that, it would solve all their not paying taxes stuff.
All the Amazon shipping people should dress up as Santa in December.
So, do you guys have anything you want to shout out about before we go? How about maybe some
Happy
Twitch
holidays?
channels?
LNZ Designs on just about every social. I stream on Twitch.
I need to centralize everything, but it's the Blue Foxy on Twitch.
Do you got anything you want to shout out?
No, not at the moment.
Well, just so everyone knows, this is actually our first episode. We are filming here live at 7 Deadly Fairies. Take it away.
Yeah, 7 Deadly Fairies. We are geek-themed clothing and accessories located in Pasadena at 2725 East Colorado Boulevard. Just come by. We're open on Wednesdays through Sundays.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time.